Here are the steps you need to follow if you're trying to get a business loan with EIN only. Because the whole thing here is that you want to always boost your chances of being approved, right, boss? So first thing first, you want to show that your business is a standalone entity. See, the whole thing is a lot of people who apply for an EIN only business loan have no idea about separating their business from their personal affairs. If you want the lender to grant you a business loan using EIN only, you want to segregate your business. So you want to show that your business is a standalone entity. This is very important. What do I mean by that? You have to show a company that is properly organized or incorporated. So when we talk about properly organized or incorporated, we're talking about you showing your articles of organization or your articles of incorporation, depending upon the legal structure of your business. For example, if you have an LLC or you have a partnership, you want to show the lender that you have articles of organization. If you're a corporation, you want to show the lender that you have articles of incorporation. So it's very important from the get-go that you show the lender that you are properly organized or incorporated. So you also have to show a certificate of good standing from the state. This is really important because this tells the lender that, hey, listen, your business is not only legit, it also complies with the various regulations in the state where you operate from. This is really important in trying to allay fears from the lender's side that you are not a compliant business. Okay, a lot of companies and again, I'm speaking to you based on the shoulders of our team members who have been doing this sort of analysis for the last 35 to 40 years. We have actually accompanied a lot of clients successfully in their application for business loans, lines of credit, and credit cards using EIN only. So what I'm sharing with you here is actually the results of years of experience in the field. So you want to show that you're properly organized or incorporated, that you have a certificate of good standing from the state, that you have an EIN active in the IRS database. This is really important. That you have an active DUNS number, that you have business licenses, you have business insurance, you have, of course, a business bank account, okay, preferably at the same institution where you are trying to apply for an EIN business loan, that you have a business address, that you have leases and other legal documents that the business has signed under its name. Very important. So step number one, you need to show that your business is a standalone entity. Step number two, you need to prove that you can repay the loan. By the way, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here. Today we are having a quick convo about 3 things that you need to do to get a business loan with EIN only, no matter what. So when we talk about proving that you can repay the loan, of course, we are speaking about your liquidity status, right? This is really important, your liquidity status. So there are 4 quick things that you need to do here. If you want to actually show the lender that you can repay the loan, you have to do 4 quick things. First of all, you want to determine how much you need. Boss, I'm asking you, how much do you want to borrow? 25 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand? Okay. Why do you need that much? So if you choose a number, you need to first quantify your loan desire, but then you need to justify it. So you need to substantiate why you need that much. And you need to talk about what for. So that when we talk about the use of loan proceeds, you have to be clear. See, the thing is, the lender will ask you all questions about the use of loan proceeds. So what you need the money for. And the 4th question here, how you will pay back the loan if you ever get it. See, the whole thing is the reason why a lot of people get denied for their EIN only loan application is because they have no idea how to prove to the lender that they can pay back the loan. See, the lender can give you 1 million. The lender will give you $1 billion for that matter. Big question is, how are you going to pay back the loan? Okay, and you can't just say, well, I'll pay back the loan, I'm comfortable. No. The lender wants to look at a set of things. They want to look at your financial statements, especially your cash flow statements, to ascertain your ability to repay the loan. Okay, and you also need to decide why you need financing. If you remember, I was telling you there are 4 quick things, and why you need that much, it's number 2. So why do you need the financing? You need to clarify that. You need to articulate to the lender why you need the financing. Are you looking to buy a new piece of equipment? Do you want to borrow a small amount of money to take care of business? Let's say everyday expense. Do you want to establish a business? Do you want to pay for day-to-day operations? Do you want to borrow money on an as needed basis? So if you want to have a source of capital on an ongoing basis, then you want to go for a business line of credit. Maybe a business loan is not what you are looking for or what you should be looking for. And the thing is, you have to check your eligibility. See, this is really important. By the way, I want to quickly mention today's topic. I'm explaining to you 3 things that you can do to always get a business loan with EIN only. So, number 1, you want to show that your business is a standalone entity. Number 2, you need to prove that you can repay the loan. And I'm still having a conversation with you under the section proving that you can repay the loan, right? You want to check your eligibility. The whole thing here is that when we talk about business loans using EIN only, there are eligibility requirements. And the first thing is you got to have an EIN. And I'm talking about having an active EIN. See, the whole thing is some people have a EIN, they apply for an EIN, they get the number, and their business goes dormant for a few years or months, and they're trying to revive the business, but they forget that the EIN is dormant. They need to actually make sure that the IRS databases that the EIN is now active. So if you want to check your eligibility, first make sure that you have an active EIN. You want to check your credit score here, okay? And when we talk about checking your credit score, because we're speaking about EIN only business loans, we are speaking about your business credit score. And there are 3 types of business credit scores. So you have your Paydex score that is issued by Dun & Bradstreet. You have your Intellis score. And then you also have, so you have your Equifax business score, and you have your Experian score. So those three business credit score, those 3 business credit scores must match. What I'm trying to tell you here is what I'm trying to paint a picture for you. When we talk about eligibility for an EIN only business loan application, you have business credit scores. They also pay attention to your time in business. Okay, they'll pay attention to your annual revenue. So here we're speaking of, again, the larger context here is your business financials. This is very important. You want to make sure that you have your financial statements. So your balance sheet, your income statement, your statement of cash flows, and your statement of owner's equity. So everything you have to do to actually segregate your business's affairs from your personal affairs, please do it. And in some cases, the lender might ask you for collateral. So basically, they'll ask you to provide some kind of to pledge some kind of assets. Make sure that those assets are business assets. Again, because we're trying to really distance your personal affairs from anything related to the business, especially when it comes to loans. Very important. The third thing I want you to do today is to prove that your business model is solid. See, the whole thing is to prove that your business model is solid, you have 2 ways to do this. Only 2 ways. You have to do this through a business plan. Okay, when we talk about business plan, you have to explain to the lender that basically you are good to go. So you can do this through a business plan. And the second part is you can do this through financial statements. I will talk about financial statements in detail later on. Let me first talk about a business plan. See, the whole thing here is that 90% of entrepreneurs and small business owners have no idea how to apply for a business loan using EIN only. And I'm speaking to you also. I'm talking about you, grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, niece, nephew, bro, sis. I'm talking to you. You don't know, you have no idea how to apply for an EIN only business loan. And part of that, a quintessential part of a business loan application using EIN only is to have a business plan. And we have talked about this on other shows. When we talk about business plan, there are certain elements that the lender wants to see in your plan. See, you have to think about a business plan as a blueprint. It is a navigational tool that allows the lender to see where your business is, where it wants to go, and where it has been in the past. Okay, so things like just make sure you have an executive summary, you have a company description, you describe your products or services. You have to conduct market research to make sure that you are basically you have a clear idea about the sector in which you operate, that you have clear financial plans, that you have charted business operations analytics, that you have thought about other costs. Okay, when it comes to your business, my point is what? My point is that at the end of this, when you have a great business plan, you are able to show the lender that your business model is solid because you have gauged, you have evaluated your competitors, and you think you have a chance to actually make money in the industry. And when we talk about business plan, please, if you have no knack for writing such literature, do not try to confuse yourself. Don't try to razzle dazzle yourself by thinking, I can do this. No, you can't do it because you don't have the time or expertise or, let's face it, genius to do it. You want to focus on your forte. You want to focus on where you're good at. Okay, nobody's perfect. And if you can't do it, please hire someone. You can hire someone to write the business plan for you online. You can go to those freelancer websites. I'm talking about Fiverr, Upwork, TopTal, freelancer.com. You can hire someone locally to do it for you, or you can use software. So if you remember, I was telling you, you need to prove that your business model is solid, right? So the first thing to do is you have to show this through a business plan. The second way to show this is through financial statements, and this can be actual or projected. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. Son, daughter, if you're listening to me, today's topic, I'm trying to explain to you 3 things you can do right now to always get a business loan using EIN only. So when we talk about your financial statements, and this can be actual or projected, that means what? It means that you have to actually, based on our experience for the last 30 to 35 years, we think it's best to have both. So it's not either or, it's and. So you want to show the lender actual data and projected data. Why? Because you want to show actual data to show where you currently are at, and you want to show projections to have a prospective analysis here. You want to help the lender project himself or herself into your future and think about. And obviously, you want to have a rosy picture. You want the projections to be rosy but not unrealistic. In other words, I'm not asking you to lie on your business loan application, but you want to use realistic projections that paint, again, an optimistic picture of your industry. So when we talk about financial statements, obviously, I just told you the 4 primary financial statements you need to have. Let me just kind of quickly remind you here. We're speaking about a balance sheet, an income statement, a statement of cash flows. We have a statement of owner's equity. This is important to remember. And when we talk about those, you also have, and this is something that a lot of business owners don't know. Normally, when you have a financial statements, you have a 5th addition to this set of accounting reports. It's called additions to those financial statements. Sometimes you hear the words accompanying statements or disclosure notes to the financial statements. This is quite essential because it allows the lender to have a proper context about the numbers that you are showing them, right? You want to explain the assumptions they use for projections. You want to explain your accounting choices, especially if you have complicated accounting practices. I mean, complicated but legal, though. Remember, everything that you do must be done in accordance with U.S. GAAP. So U.S. GAAP means U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, boss. If everything I'm talking about sounds like a foreign language to you, that's not a problem. It just means that you have to hire someone to take care of business for you, okay, to prepare those financial statements for you. It is what it is. I want to give you a few pro tips here before we actually close to this conversation. The thing here is that if you're looking for a business loan using EIN only, you can't just let's say base your choices on a few lenders. Okay, when we talk about business lending options using EIN only, there is a smorgasbord of lenders in the country. That's what we love. We love the diversity. We love the litany of lenders who are vying for your business. We love the constellation of businesses. And there are several categories. So you have traditional banks, you have traditional credit unions, you have online lenders, you have alternative lenders, you have micro lenders. So see, we love that diversity. See that diversity? So everybody's just sitting there just waiting for your business. The thing is, you have to have a formula. You have to apply logic, what we call country logic, village logic, to actually get the loan, the business loan you need using EIN only. So what is that logic? The logic is you want to actually do the three things that I just told you. You need to show that your business is a standalone entity. You have to prove that you can repay the loan. So we're speaking here about financial ability, cash flow suitability. You need to show that your business model is solid. But more importantly, you need to establish a relationship with the institution where you want to get the EIN only business loan. See, everything in life, from your romantic circumstances to your professional circumstances, revolve around relationships. And those relationships don't take over, they do take time to build and cultivate, to build and nurture. So for example, if you are trying to get a business loan using EIN only at a bank, you don't actually go to a bank and say, listen, I want to apply for this EIN only loan. It takes months, sometimes years. In other words, you start like, a couple of months ago, where you are actually trying to beef up your relationship with them in terms of opening your bank account, business checking account, business savings account, trying to hire the bank for other services like payroll, merchant processing, and so on and so forth. This is how you build a relationship. And you do this way before you start applying for a business loan using EIN only. Same thing applies for credit unions. Now, for alternative lenders, they don't have brick and mortar branches. And so what you do is you want to actually follow a specific step by step. Call them up. You want to call them up. You want to have a conversation with the loan rep, explain your situation, and provide the necessary documents. They'll take care of you. They'll process your loan application using EIN only. Let me quickly talk to you about, and I want to give you another pro tips here. You need to gather the required documents. See, the whole thing is that, you can do the research, you can actually have all the paperwork, but now you need to gather them. You need to have, there's a checklist that we have compiled over the years for our business clients that we have successfully applied for more than 1,000 business loans using EIN only. See, the whole thing is a normal package, a typical package for a business loan application using EIN only. They want to see your business licenses. They want to see your business tax return. So we are speaking about your 1065 or your 1120S or your 1120 for the last 3 years. Okay. If you're a startup, then mention that you don't have a business tax return, but they want to see that. So even if you have if you have a pass-through entity, in other words, you have a form 1120S or form 1065. In other words, those are informational tax returns. You don't pay taxes on those forms. The lender still wants to see that. They still want to make sure, and they want to see this for two reasons. They want to cross-reference the income statement in your financial statement that you submitted to them. They want to cross-reference that to how much you declared to the authorities, how much you reported to the authorities. So this is really important. That's number one. Number two, they want to make sure that you are a legit and compliant business, that you comply with tax laws in the country and also in the states where you operate from. So the lender wants to see your articles of incorporation or your articles of organization. As I was telling you earlier, you need to show that your business is a standalone entity, right? So if you want to dig a little deeper, courts actually they use a term called piercing the corporate veil. So if you want to lay out a corporate veil around your business, make sure that you are segregating your personal affairs from your business's affairs. Okay, and you want to submit business bank statements also. You want to submit, of course, financial statements. I just mentioned that. So everything from a profit and loss statements. By the way, profit and loss statements is the same thing. They are the same thing as income statements, or sometimes they will say statements of income. So those terms are interchangeable. And in terms of the required documents, of course, you need to have a business plan. And I'm talking about a compelling business plan. You also need to have building lease that explains all agreements that you have. If you are unsure what documents are needed, it's always better to contact the lender before applying. The last thing you want to do here is you want to submit your application, right? So we are here still talking about a business loan using EIN only. So this is actually the final step. And in our experience, it's just a lot better to apply at a branch, to submit your application at a branch. If you are talking about a credit union or a traditional bank, you want to apply at a branch. If you are talking about an alternative lender or an online lender, who by definition don't have brick and mortar branches, you want to have a phone conversation with a loan rep before submitting your application. Once you have a conversation with them, they'll just answer all the important questions you might have. Sometimes you might have questions about, if I get approved, how quickly they will release the funds. And what if I don't approve? What are my options? Do they have a reconsideration line? If I get approved, how much am I going to get? And how often am I have to repay the loan? Sometimes they might ask you to repay like twice a month or once a month or once a quarter. It depends on the lender. So those are questions that you want to ask to make sure that you are on the same page as the lender. Okay. And so depending on what lender you have decided to work with, you can do this online or in person. I'm still talking about the application here. Okay. So here is some information a lender might ask you for when it comes to a business loan with EIN only. So your name, your business name, your social security number, but they're not going to check your credit. Believe me, they just need this for identification purposes. They will ask you for a desired loan amount, the loan purpose, the business tax ID. Again, this is aka EIN, your employer identification number. They will ask you for your annual revenue. Okay. And for annual revenue, if you are a startup or if you don't have a full year of financial data, just you want to complement your actual data with projected data. As I said before, it is fine to provide projected data. It's just that you need to make sure that that data is realistic. Okay, you're not trying to razzle dazzle the lender by giving unrealistic numbers or fuzzy numbers, fuzzy math, trying to confuse the lender. You don't want that. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just quickly giving you 3 things that you need to have to always get a business loan using EIN only. Number 1, you want to show that your business is a standalone entity. Number 2, you want to prove that you can repay the loan. Number 3, you need to prove that your business model is solid. And I give you a few pro tips. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.